as to affect the election or term of any senator chosen before it becomes valid as part of the Constitution. Now, if everyone is ready, I will call for contestant number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, today many citizens give little thought to what the 17th Amendment actually is, thinking it's just simply the direct popular election of senators. But ladies and gentlemen, it is much more than that. In order to fully understand what the 17th Amendment is, we must analyze it through 3 perspectives. The past, which is the history of the problems surrounding the state legislature method of electing senators. Number 2, the actual ratification of the 17th Amendment. And number 3, the future, how we as American citizens are affected by controversies surrounding the 17th Amendment. First, the past. The original method of electing senators in the original Constitution was through state legislatures. But during the 19th century, many problems erupted out of this method. One of the first problems to show itself were deadlocks between upper and lower chambers of state legislatures. In 1865, New Jersey sent Mr. John Stockton to the United States Senate under a cloud of controversy. Because he had been elected by a plurality rather than a majority of the New Jersey state legislature's joint session that year, Stockton's arrival in Washington sparked intense debate on senatorial election contests. In that same year, 1865, Congress sent out a state-by-state analysis of senatorial election contests, and came out with a report 2 years later saying that the state legislature method of electing senators represented a snarl of inconsistencies and mismanagements. Congress tried to intervene in 1886 by passing a law that regulated the time and procedure of electing senators. Ironically, this law encouraged the problem it was supposed to solve, upping the number of deadlocks to 45 by the late 19th century. Other problems showed itself also. By 1906, 10 new cases of bribery were sent to Congress during state legislature senatorial election contests. Many states suffered because of a lack of senatorial representation. Delaware was improperly represented for 4 years in the late 19th century. North Carolina in one election had 85 different candidates for senators. And also in Colorado in one senatorial election contest, the Republicans had to call the governor so he could call in the National Guard just to keep order during one contest. Obviously, a new system of voting was needed. But now we must analyze the actual ratification of the 17th Amendment. From the 1870s on, people pressured to have a direct popular election of senators. In 1903, the people of Oregon engineered a system to force their legislatures to pick the senator they most popularly liked. Also, with Oregon's success, they chose 2 senators within 20 minutes. The success Oregon had other states to fill in applications for a constitutional convention to propose the 17th Amendment of the direct popular election of senators. And through much legislative maneuvering, the 17th Amendment was finally ratified on April 8, 1913. But now, we as Americans must look towards the future. There have been many advocates of repealing or rescinding the 17th Amendment because they say it represents an imbalance of power between the state's entity and the federal government's power. But throughout the 19th century, states showed that they were irresponsible in their ways of electing senators from their own states. Many people say there might be an imbalance of power, but not only have they hurt the federal government's purpose of equally representing the states through the Senate, but also hurt themselves by misrepresenting themselves also. But the most important implication of the 17th Amendment is not our right to vote for senators, but our duty to just plain vote. James Madison presented a constitutional paradox in that the Constitution protects our right to vote, but we must protect the Constitution by exercising this very right. But with over 50% of this American population remaining indifferent to governmental actions, this amendment and the whole Constitution and its purpose are in danger. But by building strong pillars of citizenship for our House, we can make sure that our Constitution still houses a great and powerful nation. Thank you.
The time for contestant